Well, howdy ho there, folks. How are we doing today? Hopefully you're all doing absolutely peachy keen, fantastic, full of the love of the Lord and all that good stuff. It's time for another cat video. Oh boy. And I wanted to play more Pseudoregalia. You know why? Because I actually really like this game. Although I played it just yesterday, and I'm already sitting here going, wait a minute, I don't remember the controls. Okay, so it's Q to do that, then that. So you can Q and then wah! Man, it's crazy. This game is crazy. But I was just thinking about some stuff recently. There was this video put on, well, I don't think it's actually put on the Vedanta Society in New York's page, but it was there was a guest speaker, Swami, and he was talking about how we shouldn't, you know, like choose and go after things we like necessarily, and what's much better is to you know, kind of just like what kind of comes with the a better way to do it spiritually is to just kind of accept whatever comes and goes. And I was thinking that I'm not necessarily always the best at that. Honestly, one area where I kind of struggle to do that is, oh, I think that was probably way overkill for that jump. But it's okay. You can watch me fail at a jump for a while while I talk. But it's kind of interesting because in life I feel like I'm pretty good at that. Like if something comes, I'll just take it and go. Sometimes I'll complain, but I try generally not to complain too much. I try to be, you know, level-headed, and I also try to be understanding. And usually, you know, if there's something bad comes up and it's just because somebody, you know, is having a hard time, or they like have limited resources or something like that, it's pretty easy to understand, you know, the predicament, and to understand that, you know, not everything. Oops. So that one I should maybe slide for. Okay. And it's not necessarily always that easy to just have things go along the way we want them to, right? I understand that. I don't think it's terribly difficult to understand, really. But, you know, sometimes I have a hard time with this. Like, for instance, in particular with hobbies and silly things, like Warhammer. I definitely have pretty strong preferences for certain armies in Warhammer. And that's not like a tremendous deal. That's not like end of the world. But it does show that I still have this tendency to pick and choose with things. And I'm trying to get better and better about this in everyday life. Because, you know, our... not just in everyday life, but with... things in general, right? I think I need to jump this. Okay, yeah. You want to get to a point where you just kind of take things as they come and go. And that's actually, I think, pretty easy for a lot of things if you look at them in the right way. And the simple truth is that, you know, things are going to happen regardless of what you do. Sometimes those things are going to be displeasing to you, and sometimes those things are going to do... ooh. Press A button or spacebar while in the air. Okay. So I just want to see. Okay. Do you think I can do this well? Okay, so I can do... Okay. And sometimes it's easy to get frustrated with processes if you don't understand them, or processes if you approach them the wrong way. But the simple truth is that... there's always going to be things that we don't necessarily understand. There's always going to be things that are kind of not necessarily working out in our favor. And we need to remember that, okay, so wait. Okay, there we go. Cool. Oh. And we got to be able to remember that, you know, just because we don't necessarily feel the strongest connection to something, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're, you know, that we should abandon it or even feel strongly negative towards it. Because, you know, if the Lord is... Oop, there we go. If the Lord is truly within all things and is truly there no matter what's going on... Okay, so can you only do it like 3 times? Ooh, okay, that was close. And then, like, no matter what comes along, it is technically part of the Lord, and it has the essence of the Lord within it, right? And that we should be able to respect it, and we should also love it, because God is in everything, and God is within everybody. Now, for certain things, this is more obviously a thing that we should probably work on. For instance, people. Like, everybody, even people that we don't like, and even people that do bad things, they're still ultimately a part of God, and they're still ultimately, you know, God's children and all that good stuff. So we should still be kind to them, and, you know, be understanding, and understand that, you know, people are just people, right? People go through crazy things, and people do silly things all the time. You know, people have circumstances in their lives, and some people are not at the same emotional or spiritual maturity as others, and sometimes they're going to do things we don't like. Some people also do things that are bad, or sometimes they just do things that are short-sighted. Sometimes someone can be selfish and kind of ignorant to the needs of others around them. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're like, you know, Satan incarnate. And in fact, they're not. They are, in fact, incarnations of God, each and every one. And we should try to remember that and try to be willing to forgive them their minor trifles, and be willing to forgive them, you know, the little things that they do that we don't necessarily agree with or like, and be willing to forgive them the little things that bother us, so that we can grow ourselves. Oops. So we can grow ourselves spiritually, and, you know, always have a stronger connection with the Lord no matter what we're doing. I gotta say, I have definitely not gained the hang of the jumping thing, but it's okay. We'll get there, maybe, after I practice for 70 hours, and then everyone will be like, wow, you got really... Oh, hey. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to grab the thing, because I feel like I should be able to just, from here, just be like, do this. Yeah. And, you know, not necessarily everything is easy for everybody. And sometimes, you know, we look at the way we have personally gone through something, and we think, well, that's the way other people are going to go through something, right? That's the way that other people are going to interact with that's the way other people are going to interact with difficulties, and that's the way that people are going to interact with the world, and that's the way that people are going to interact with whatever's going on in their life. Oh, I should have healed there. Well, thankfully that didn't send me too far back. But as you can see, I don't have the hang of the I don't have the hang of the greaves yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there, I believe in me. And my ability... Oh. And my ability to learn how to parkour. I think I'm hitting it way too soon is the problem. Yeah, I think I'm just hitting it way too soon. I'm almost like spamming it, which I don't really think is how you're supposed to deal with that. But that's okay. See, life has all kinds of little crazy things in it. You never know what someone has gone through to get to where they are, and you know, what exactly led someone to think the way they do, or, you know, why have they decided to go along certain paths. Sometimes it's really easy to, Oh, good enough, we kind of did it. Yay! And it's really easy to judge other people because we get to see, you know, people at their worst. We get to also see people doing things that they shouldn't be doing in certain circumstances, and we're willing to judge them for that. But, you know, we should always remember that, you know, when we're having to put up with other people are also having to put up with us, having to put up with our little idiosyncrasies. And this is part of the reason why it's a good thing to not pick and choose, and part of the reason why it's a good thing in general to help guide people through their difficulties, and also be willing to look past people's issues when you can, and look more towards helping people because you never know when you're gonna need something, when you're gonna need some help, right? But it's also because if everybody is a child of God, then we should be loving everyone and we should be trying to support everyone. Now, some people admittedly are more difficult, and that's just why part of the reason why I brought up people in particular. But you never know. Sometimes it's as simple as you're gonna take one thing over another, and if they have the one thing but they don't have the other, you're going to be upset. Sometimes it's as simple as they don't have your favorite food at a place, so you have to compromise. That's not really that big of a deal, right? But, you know, some people really have a difficult time with a lot of this stuff. They have a difficult time just being able to accept that sometimes things don't go their way. And they also have a difficult time, you know, getting over those little things that really kind of stick in their craw. But avoid picking and choosing. That's the easiest way on the path. Do your best to interact with what's around you and what is presented to you, rather than what is necessarily speaking the quote-unquote best in any particular situation. Be willing to deal with those difficulties and find that, you know, there's actually a lot of joy to be had in little difficulties if you approach them in the right way. What's the best way to do this? Probably just to do some jumpy kicky wall, maybe. Oop. I think I almost had that, maybe. Oh no, this is at the back. But yeah, we all have to work on ourselves, and we all have to be willing to accept certain flaws, and it's generally better to come to peace with like certain flaws rather than, you know, trying all the time to be angry at them, because, you know, being angry at them doesn't really serve you in any way, and it doesn't really help you on your spiritual journey in any way. It doesn't help you being a better person in any way, you know? I'm bad at this. Yeah, just have fun. Oops. Just have a bit of fun with it. Try to get better. Be willing to accept your mistakes. Be willing to accept that things aren't always going to go your way. Aha! And also be willing to admit that sometimes, if you just keep trying, you can get further along with something. That's why it's well worth remembering that, you know, things take effort. And it also takes effort and time to get past, you know, your natural inclinations towards things. Some things that we like are definitely worth supporting, and then other things that we like are, you know, distractions and are not as good for us. We should remember that, so that we don't, so that we are able to accept what comes and accept it gladly with open arms, but also so that we can, you know, always be in our own best spirits, you know. And if you have to deal with people that you don't like, and if you have to deal with things that you don't like, sometimes it's good to simply accept them for what they are, accept that they're there and they're part of this life, and, you know, you can get really far with that. And I think that's probably one of the most important things that we often have a tendency to forget. Okay, so this one, I think I need to jump, and then go, maybe? Yay! See, we're learning, kind of. And also be willing to compromise with people around you, and be willing to understand that you don't always need to get your way. That's one of the most important things in terms of, like, spiritual and just emotional growth in general, is you need to be able to get to a point where you can understand that things change, that people can be difficult, and that things are not always going to go the way you want them to. Okay, so I think what I need to do is bonk, bonk, bonk. Yay! Hoop. Is there a savey thing here? Oh, there's a key. Keys are important. Yeah. So I hope that you all enjoyed this little thing that I was talking about. I just really had this on my mind lately, and you know, I've just been thinking about how we should try to avoid constantly picking and choosing and constantly going out of our way to like try to make things only go our way and not accepting things as they are sometimes. Now that doesn't mean that you can't strive for improvement in certain areas, that people can't be treated better, for instance, or other things like that. But it does mean that sometimes you need to accept things as they are. Okie dokie, artichoke? Okie dokie. I hope that you all have an absolutely wonderful day, and I hope that you know that I love you and God loves you, and bye-bye, I love you, bye. Have a great one, bye. Bye, love you, bye.